to everyone. So once again I come up with a new topic to discuss with all of you. And our today's topic is on death. And I hope it is gonna be a very interesting one as it is directly relating to all of us. And of course not us as well. So we will try to look into the role of belief and experience in the mystery of death to find out if it is really a mystery or it is just our own ignorance on the fact of death. As we have understood, all that is there is experience in this very moment of our life, and seeing the same experience in a different light is our own belief. It's a very peculiar entity, you see. Now, what is death all about? You see, in the simple most term, the death is simply the cessation of the experience of hearing, touching, seeing, smelling, tasting, you can say, and nothing else. And if we have developed a different kind of knowledge upon death outside the fact I just mentioned, then be sure it's only our belief, a hearsay. The belief is an extraneous thing over the experience of body. It is just, you see, added to the experience of body, you can say. And why it is so? Because the believer has taken the body as its own being. It experienced the body as its own very being, and now it doesn't want it to go ahead, it doesn't want it to change or die in the course of its life. The believer is caught into its own trap. It seems like that. And how do we consider the death in our society? There is another angle of death that we consider in our society. So you see, when the body is seen fell flat on the ground and taking no more breath just for its survival, it is considered a death of a person. This is only a belief, you see, built over the death of a person, which was never in existence in the first place. But as of now, it looks more real because the believer has taken this body as its own being and want it to go ahead with its own instruction, which is not possible at all, nor it is happening as such. So these are two facts of death. The first is it is simply the cessation of experience of all these five experiences that we are having through our five senses, and another that is happening in the society is just a rumor that we see the death of a body or the death of a person. These two views we have to understand throughout our inquiry over the death. Even I seen the death of bodies of other peoples, and subsequently it conclude for himself that he will also die one day. The thing is, this very body is not following the instruction of any believer. It is following its own course of life, which is the course of the world. It cannot go outside its own course. It's only the believer which is thinking outside the actual experience that is happening in this moment. So the believer think this body as its own being, and when it see this very body, especially in the act of death, when it's not going as per the belief, as per its own wishes, it brings suffering to the believer. It doesn't want to die. So the problem is not the body, problem is this belief that I am a body and I do not want to die. This is where the problem lies, not in the body, which we have thought, out of some belief. The body by itself never ever become the being of any believer. Hence, it never dies the death of a believer. It is an impossible thing. It's only believer sides. The belief in form of person over the course of time grows some sort of attachment in the mind, which in turn generate feelings of fear, of imminent absence from the world, because it has known, it has learned that it's no longer going to be there. It will not be able to see these people all around. It's no longer be there to deal with the people it was seeing So this thing brings suffering to the mind. It doesn't want to die. Not knowing who is there going to die, because body is following its own course. It's not going to die a death of believer. So this is called attachment, which brings fear of separation. But owing to believers' ignorance, it feels that I am going to die as a person. You see, but it's not from the body side, it's from the believer's side, because believer has grown some sort of attachment in his mind. Now it doesn't want to die, he wants to remain here in this world. So this is ignorance. This is just because of belief that is there. And the next part of the same discussion we will follow in our next video, when we will bring more clarity over this mystery of death, which is not a death, it's just our own ignorance or on the fact of death. Thank you.